Hi, I'm Jonathan Gan and welcome to Market Matters, where I'm joined today by two beautiful ladies, Nadia Hassan and Charlotte Chong. So looking at the market today, Nadia, we have the CI trending sideways with a flip-flop between and above and below the 1,600 points. Abysmal retail participation.
I think you're being too kind when you say abysmal, John.
Right.
And your charming self today. As you say, like, the fact is, almost nobody went in. But are you surprised? Because there's so much fear going on. Not so much greed, because people are actually still bargain hunting, but not as much. There's a lot of fear going on. And I think a lot of external factors are going to play into things. Warren Buffett, who's my buddy on Twitter, actually did say, you know, that the economy is not bad, but it's not booming. So with all of this, I think the Fed rate hike is looking further and further away.
So on that note, World Bank economist Kaushik Basu also calls for the Federal Reserve to actually delay the rate hike, and he warns of panic and turmoil if the Fed actually raises rates. But actually, Charlotte has more on the details on the market.
Yes,
today.
we have seen some sort of a roller coaster today in the KLCI, our local index. CI closed 1.02% higher at 1,603 points today, and it's actually lifted by banking and telco stocks. When we look at top gainers across local bourse today, we saw Allianz, Public Bank, and AMMB holdings, and that's because central bank is expected to hold its benchmark rate of 3.25% on Friday. And top active, obviously, is still the same TMS, the Media Shop, and AirAsia. And although we saw a sea of green in the Asian regional market today, but investment managers, they are not convinced, and they say the market was actually experiencing a speculative bounce because of what happened for the past few weeks. The Asian regional market actually experiencing a heavy sell-off for the past few weeks. Japan's Nikkei 225 soared 7.71% after Prime Minister Shinzo Abe pledged to lower corporate tax.
Dear Shinzo Abe actually sort of bit the bullet and said, we will actually do corporate tax, because they had an abysmal round of revised GDP numbers. I think he has to do something. Whether or not the economists, right, I mean actually the companies, the Japanese companies, in their wisdom will actually do anything, because they're very set in their ways, is nothing entirely.
So I think Japanese welcome the news, and Hang Seng Composite Index at a 4.1% as well. Now when you look
sorry to cut you off there, Charlotte, because we only have time for the hot stock now. And actually for our hot stock for the day, speaking of how speculative things have been, we have an UMA-related stock, which is Microlink Solutions.
UMA-related?
Yeah, basically it's an unusual market
query, yes.
Yeah, an unusual market activity query. So basically, Bursa Malaysia has queried Microlink Solutions Bhd on the rise of its share price, which surged 200% over the last 2 weeks, actually, with absence of any strong positive news.
I disagree with that. Apparently, according to a report on the Edge markets today, apparently the main shareholder, Montero Gerard Clare, actually upped his stake. Not much, 21,000 or so. I mean, it's not as if he bought a big thing. But you know, for me, whenever a major shareholder or a head buys into it, for me that says confidence. For me that says, I believe I will put my money where my mouth is.
That's true, Nadia. But I'm looking at the company earnings, however, it's still in the red. So I don't see much of a catalyst going for it. And I actually detailed the company's quarterly results, and it says in the quarterly report that it cites higher costs in terms of its distribution segment and higher operating expenses in its business performance segment.
Did we say what it did actually before we go on? It actually helped with the banking, right?
Right.
They actually helped doing online banking. Let me ask you this, John. When's the last time you actually had to go to a counter?
I do most of my banking online now, Nadia.
So obviously these guys are going to benefit from something. And again, I'm going back to the major shareholder. If he believes, why not you believe?
Well, I mean, overall, looking at the picture, the company is still loss-making, despite their revenue gains of 360%. So I'm looking at the picture as a whole. In general, I stay away from companies which are in the red, Nadia.